another video, and we are doing the Q&A as promised. And as y'all can see, I'm in a different area. I came to Alabama to visit my parents, so we don't have our coffee, we don't have our sign, but we're still gonna get into this video. We're still gonna get these questions answered, and we're still gonna make it happen. So we're gonna get right into the video, and we're gonna start out with the first question. And the first question is, what's the hardest part about being a mom? So for me, the hardest part about being a mom is probably like just making sure that I don't fail at being a mom. Like, I know it's an ever learning process. Like, you learn until the very end, but I think that like that's the hardest part, is just like waking up every day and making sure that I'm doing literally everything I can to make sure that they're thriving at such young ages. So that, for me, that's the hardest part, is just making sure that I don't fail them, because I'm literally, I have to do everything for them. So I'm making sure that I don't fail them is probably like the hardest part for me, outside of like still adjusting, having to deal with postpartum depression and anxiety and different things like that. Like, just making sure like I don't fail as a mom. My next question is, what were some of the coping strategies? Okay, so I'm not really understanding what the question technically was. It says, what were some of the coping strategies that I used while experiencing it? And I'm assuming that it's talking about postpartum depression. I still deal with it to this day. I do a lot of listening to music. I like car rides. Days that I feel like I'm going through it, I get up, get dressed, get my girls up and dressed, and even if it's like going to get groceries. I do a lot of pickup orders, so just like going to get groceries, like I do that. I play a lot of music, and TikTok is a big thing because they like to watch people dance and hear the music. So I watch like TikTok throughout the day, just like when I feel like I'm having a moment, I do stuff like that. Another question is, what's your favorite part about being a mother? My favorite part about being a mother is watching them laugh and talk to each other. Like, I knew, like, watching my oldest daughter, Emerson, when she was little, my favorite part would just always be making her smile, making her laugh, watching her do little things. But now, because it's two of them, I have Emerson and Eliana, literally watching them, excuse me y'all, watching them just laugh and talk to each other in baby talk. Like, I didn't know that could be so funny. And I always say, well, I'm gonna record it, I'm gonna get a picture of it. And when it happens, I'm always so in the moment, trying to look at them and just I'm so amazed that they're doing it, that I don't even forget to pick the camera up. So I never even get the actual footage of it. It's very rare. I mean, I do get footage, but it's very rare, because I'm always so amazed that they're doing like that little stuff with each other that I forget to even pick the camera up. So, but that is one of my favorite parts about being a mom, is that I get to just watch them learn and grow and develop, and also learn and grow and develop with each other. Next question is, how do you stay intimate after being so exhausted from your adventurous mom life day? Okay, so I'm gonna say this. My mom life is not necessarily adventurous, more nerve-wracking than anything, because I have a toddler and a 4-month-old. So I have a soon-to-be 2-year-old and a just turned 4-month-old. And most of the time, I'm just trying to make sure nobody hurts themselves. So I'm always on edge, like, don't do that, don't go over there, stay right here, be careful, don't go to the edge of the bed. Like, I'm always anxious. But staying intimate after having to be a mommy all day, really all that easy all the time. Excuse me, y'all. But you really have to make the time and find the time. So like sometimes my husband and I put the kids to bed early and, just find time for each other, whether it's watching, like finding a TV show that we like and watching that TV show until clearly the 4-month-old wakes up to eat or something. Or we'll find a movie and watch the movie or something like that. Or, of course, put them to bed early and have literally mommy and daddy time. Like, we have to really make the time. It don't just come naturally. We literally have to make the time. It's not scheduled now. We don't schedule it and be like, okay, on Tuesday we're gonna do this. But like, if we feel like we want some intimacy or we want to be together or we want to, be grown, we will literally be like, okay, let's put them to bed early. Like, she falling asleep, she already asleep. Let's put them in the bed and let's have some time for ourselves. So that's how we try to stay intimate and just in tune with each other. This next question is, what are some of the things that I did to kind of get control of my postpartum depression? And the way, I don't really have control of it, to be honest, but I do have things that I found work for me. And like I said, music was a really, really, really big one for me, because most people know music will calm you down. Like, most people be like, I turn on some music and it'll change my whole mood. Like, music really, really, really helps me. So I like cut some music on or cut like a movie on that I know. For example, Princess and the Frog and Dreamgirls. I know almost every word for word to those two movies. I cut those on and sing and talk the whole thing out, and it'll put me in a better mood. I feel a whole lot better most of the time after I watch it, or after I just cut like some music on and just do some little cleaning or something. Like cleaning up behind my toddler, because she's always taking toys out and always doing something. She's always doing something. Like, since birth, she's never been still unless she was asleep. So I'm always doing something. So I play a lot of music to help get semi-control of it. When I'm starting to feel down or feel in a mood, I cut some music on, and I never play like sad or slow music. I always play something like upbeat, sort of help me get back upbeat. And so we're gonna keep going. What was the toughest part mentally about giving birth? The toughest part for me mentally about giving birth the second time, because the first time everything was tough. Like, literally, I didn't know what to do. So I was like, I was basically thrown to the wolves. I didn't know what I was doing. So everything was tough for me because I had to learn how to do everything. But the second time, what I had to do, get ready for mentally, was I knew I was going to breastfeed, but I didn't know it was going to be this hard. Like, I thought when I was breastfeeding my first daughter, Emerson, I wanted to quit almost every other day. This time, I literally want to quit every 20 minutes. Like, I did not know it was going to be this hard. So imagine I'm breastfeeding, and you breastfeed every 2 to 3 hours. Well, Eliana eats sometimes every hour, every 30 minutes. Just depends on how she feels. Now she's more spaced out because she's older, but when she first got home, she would cluster feed. So she would eat like sometimes 30 minutes, an hour to 2 hours. Sometimes she would actually sleep for 2.5 hours, but it was just hard, especially being at home and having to deal with Emerson running around everywhere. I couldn't get up the way I wanted to, and that was just a struggle for me. And mentally, I wasn't really ready for it, but I didn't really have a choice. And in the beginning, especially, I would always be like, oh my God, I want to quit so bad, but I know this is so good for her. And I was like, man, formula. But then I thought about it, and Emerson was breastfeeding until 6 months old when I stopped producing milk, which was when, well, not 6 months, 7 months old, but that was when we found out I was pregnant with Eliana. And with Emerson, I stopped producing, so she had to drink formula. Eliana, I'm still producing, so she doesn't have to drink formula. And I'm like, man, I wish I could go back to formula, but sometimes I'm like, formula is very expensive, and I don't want to go through that again, because once she started drinking more ounces, we were going through like a can of formula like every week and a half to 2 weeks. And formula is very expensive. So we buying 2 cans at a time, so I'm not running out. It was too much. So I think that was just mentally for me what I had to get ready for. Because I'll tell you something funny that happened. And this is when I knew like breastfeeding is a whole job. I was feeding Eliana, and Emerson grabs, I don't know what it was at the time. It was actually a toy, but I didn't know that. And at the time, Emerson grabbed a toy and took off running. So I didn't know what it was. And I was like, what did she have? I had to literally scoop Eliana up like this, and she was still latched on, and I was literally chasing Emerson around the house, trying to figure out what she had. And she thought it was so funny. And I was like, oh my God, I know Eliana thinks I'm crazy, because I'm literally running around the house, chasing Emerson, trying to figure out what she had in her hand. And you tell me you ain't got to mentally get ready for something like that? It's funny now, but at the time I was freaking out, and I was trying to breastfeed at the same time. It's very funny now though. Another question is, what have I found as a strength and a weakness as a mother? I think my strength is that I do keep going. Even when it's hard, even when it's days I'm like, I need a break, I keep going. Because they looking up to me. So at this point, I can't stop. Because if I stop, then what do they have to watch as they're growing? Like if I just give up and like, I can't do it, they don't have nothing to look up to. And another strength is that I still fight through the postpartum depression, because that's a hard thing to deal with. Like, a lot of mothers feel like they don't have any support and they can't take it, and that their children will be better off without them, and that's not true. And as long as you keep fighting through it and you don't let it win, then I think that is a strength. I always say I have postpartum depression. Postpartum depression don't have me. So I have it and I can overcome it, but it ain't gonna take over me. Now it can, but I won't let it. If I keep telling myself that affirmation, it won't. My weakness is that I said I wasn't gonna do this again, and I did. And that's because it's 2, and I'm still trying to maneuver my way through having 2. But I said this. I literally lost myself again. And I lost who Jessica was. I had started finding who I was when I had Emerson. I started crafting, and I did start a business, and it's called Jessie Mae's Company. And I make shirts, I make cups, I make keychains, I make I try to make a lot of different stuff, but I really can make like a lot of stuff. So I make budget binders. I've made a birthday box, which was like a care package that you send up. Most of the time you make it for the military, people that you have in the military, but I did make a care package for a friend. It was his birthday, and his fiance bought a box, and I did like the Lion King. And I from time to time I start posting some of the stuff that I do, but this was back in August. And so when I had Emerson, I found out that I was really good at stuff like that. So I started finding myself, because that was something that made me happy. And I was like, oh, this is who, this is who I am. I like to craft. I like to listen to music while I craft. This is, I'm not just a mother and a wife. Well, this time happened all over again, and I started focusing really hard on trying to maneuver in being a mom, a wife, and trying to be myself, and then stopped worrying about myself and was only worried about my husband and my kids. And then I slowly now have started back getting into my craft a whole lot deeper and doing a lot more stuff and networking with people. So I've done that, trying to get back to myself, but that was my weakness, was that I literally lost myself again after I had Eliana, because I was not used to having two under two, which, I mean, why would I be? This was my first time doing it, but trying to figure out how to handle them, I lost myself. So I think that was one of my weaknesses, was that I lost who I was again. And the next question is, what does a typical day look like for me? Well, a typical day for me. Let's see. I probably should have wrote this part down, because, yeah. So a typical day for me is wake up and feed. That's around about 5:30 most of the time. Wake up, feed Eliana, put her back to sleep. Then Emerson wakes up around 7 something, 8 o'clock, and we get up. I change both of the girls, because by then Eliana's probably done woke back up because Emerson is up. Change them, we go downstairs, we get breakfast ready, we eat breakfast. After breakfast, 9 times out of 10, Emerson asks for a snack. So I give her like a little snack or something, and she plays, watch Barbie. She use her iPad, which she calls her IP, and she will do like her educational stuff on it. Then lunch, around about 11:30, 12 o'clock, we eat lunch. And in between all of this is constantly changing diapers and then feeding Eliana. And after lunch, sometimes Emerson will take a nap, sometimes she won't, but most times she probably will. I'll put her in her room, and we have a baby gate, so her door isn't closed. I just close the baby gate, and I let her play in her room, do free play, and most times she has her iPad, so she'll get in her bed and lay down and watch her iPad and fall asleep. So then I'm good, she's good. Eliana is in and out of sleep, because that one thing Eliana is gonna do is she's going to get her sleep. She's gonna eat and she's gonna get her sleep. So I'm changing her diapers, making sure Emerson's dry as well, while that she's napping, and then I kind of try to start doing whatever I need to do for my business. If I have orders, I do orders for my business. If not, then I just kind of look up some stuff that I want to try to do, so that I can add it to my collection of things, or like my repertoire. Then I say by the time Emerson wake up around 3:30, 4 o'clock, my husband's getting home and I'm starting dinner, or he's starting dinner. It just depends on what he wants. Cause sometimes I'll say, well, I'm gonna cook this, and he's like, I don't know if I want that. I'll cook this when I get home. And I'll just take it out. So either way, dinner's getting started. Then we sit down, watch a movie, and hang out, do family time. If I don't have anything to do for my business, and kind of hang out with the girls. And then I say around 8:30, 9-ish, after we watch a couple movies, watch a couple TV shows, like stuff, because we do have weekly TV shows that we watch, that like on Hulu. So we have like TV shows that we watch when they come on, and we get ready for bed. So it's not really a lot, but it is, because like some days I don't cook all the time. I don't clean everything up all the time. Dinner is not always made when he gets home. Majority of the time it's not made when he get home at all. But that's just only because sometimes I wait till he get home to ask him what he want to eat, and I take it out. But the dishes ain't always done, and laundry is not always done. And if laundry is done, it's either sitting in the dryer or sitting in the hamper waiting to be folded. So yeah. that's another thing is people feel like that as a stay-at-home mom, you have to have all those things done. And that's not true because I don't do it all the time. Like I try to get the dishes done before we go to bed. But sometimes like I don't feel like it's so they'll sit in the sink until the next day, or I'll go ahead and put them in a dishwasher and turn the dishwasher on. But most times, like after dealing with the kids all day, and he's been at work all day, we just don't. It's not, it's not like a necessity where you just have to have it done. It's okay to not be perfect and not have the house perfectly clean, especially when you're the one that's at home with the kids. Like, it's a difference when you're a stay-at-home mom and the children are at school or at daycare. Both of mine are at home with me, so that's me having to deal with them all day and try to do household duties. That's not easy. Let's not take that lightly. It's not easy. So don't feel bad, moms, if the dishes not done, the laundry not done. I have days where I want to do, where I have specific days where I'm doing laundry, but it don't always happen on the days. Like I normally try to do Wednesday and Thursday. Sometimes laundry might not get done till Saturday, but that's because I'm washing all of my clothes and all of their clothes and children's clothes. When you have one, it's not as bad especially when you're washing weekly. But when you have two, you got all them little socks, all those pants, all those onesies, all those shirts. That's a lot of little stuff. So, yeah. And don't feel bad if you don't cook every day or dinner's not made when your partner gets home, because you've been at home with the kids all day. Like, it's okay to not have some of that stuff done. Now, some days, if you have the time to get it done early, get it done early. But them days where it's been a day, well, both of your kids or all of your kids or just the one been screaming all day and getting in stuff all day, and just, it's, as a mother, you know what it's been a day means, where they just have been going ham all day. It's okay to not have that stuff done. Like, don't pressure yourself to get something done. It's okay to not be perfect. So I think that's all the questions that I have. Yep, that's all the questions that I have. And yes, so I'm gonna be honest. I filmed this yesterday, and I didn't realize the TV was on in the background, and you could hear everything. You can still hear me, but you could literally hear everything going on the TV. So I had to refilm it today. But I did ask. I can do another Q&A at a later date. I don't think I would do one right now. But I always ask on IG and Facebook, and make sure when I do ask, make sure you don't have to be a mom. You can be someone who is thinking about having kids. You can be a guy who wants a woman's perspective on certain things. You can be an expecting mother that want to ask questions. You can ask questions about labor, delivery, anything. Like, you don't have to just ask questions about postpartum. You can really ask questions about anything. Like, how was labor? Did I do it naturally? Anything. Like, how did I react, or how did my husband react when I was in labor with both the girls or whatever? So just ask questions. I always ask on IG and Facebook what questions you want to ask, and I'll do my Q&A with it. So that. And then make sure you guys like the video, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Especially in the comments right now, let me know like the different things you guys want to see from me. I know the next video you guys be seeing will be a vlog. So you'll get to see what I do on a daily basis, and not just me talking about what a typical day looks like for me. So you get to see it. If you guys want me to do like a mukbang, or just like a sit down video with my husband so he can get his side of things sometimes. Let me know what y'all want to see. So write in the comments what y'all want to see from me. I think that's really it. This video is going to be a bit longer than the first video, but that's because we did a Q&A and I'm talking a little bit more. I'm trying to think of what else other than liking, comment, and subscribe, y'all. And that pretty much is it, and I'll see y'all in the next video.